Welcome back to This is VANCOLOUR. As many of you know firsthand, being a mom is not easy. But what about being a new mom with your baby in the BC Legislature? Well, in 2019, procedural changes allowed BC MLAs to bring their babies into chambers, but the story really does go back further than that. Here to discuss, BC NDP Cabinet Minister and freshly re-elected MLA for North Vancouver-Lonsdale, Bowinn Ma. And this conversation is brought to you by Pacific Sands Beach Resort in Tofino, laid-back luxury, as beachfront as it gets. So, Bowinn, is there no mat leave at the BC Legislature? I've seen you with your baby.
It's interesting. I probably wouldn't be able to cite for you exactly what the mat leave provisions are that are available, because what is or is not covered isn't actually the driver behind the decision as to how much time you take off when you are an elected official. Like, what you're really looking for and what you're really trying to figure out is how much time do you physically need to recover and to get a handle on things with your new baby, and how much time off can the public tolerate not having you driving your file, and how much time off can your community manage without an MLA? Because
the public or your party leader?
Oh, no. I have to say the party leader, in this case, David Eby, has been incredibly supportive.
Okay.
He was actually the third person to find out that I was pregnant. First was me. Then, of course,
I would hope so.
Yeah. And then my husband.
Yeah.
And then it was David Eby.
Wow.
Before my parents, before anyone else, because I needed to be forthcoming to him so that we could plan out the next year and year and a half, 2 years, and so forth.
So tell me how it is being a new mom in the BC Legislature, because I heard rumors that there was a lot of baby poop involved. You were wearing it as a fashion accessory, I was told.
Yeah, it's not easy, right? But I'm incredibly fortunate to have the support of the leader, of my caucus, of all my colleagues in the legislature. Opposition members as well were incredibly supportive. My husband is a stay-at-home dad, which helps a lot. And I had a community that recognized the value of having new moms in the legislature and the value that brings to democracy. But yes, certainly in the first few months after she was born, when I was getting back into work, I was doing estimates, which is like budget debate.
Okay.
And I had to take quite a few breaks in order to nurse her. She was still nursing. I had to nurse her every few hours. And I had called for a 15-minute recess, and the opposition critic at the time, Lauren Dirksen, was very gracious in granting that to me. So I ran off and nursed her. She was in the room next door. And while I was nursing her, I don't know if you know this about babies, but sometimes they go.
Sure.
And and they have what parents affectionately call blowouts, which is basically where they go and it just is, the mess escapes the diaper. So
wow,
it's like it just
okay.
exploded all over me.
Yeah.
And I kind of passed her. She was done. I passed her back to her dad, and it was all over me. My break was over. So I just kind of had to take a paper towel and just brush it off me and run back in to complete estimates. Nobody was the wiser, thank goodness. But
well, yeah. I think it shows your dedication both as a mom and as a parliamentarian. So I think we can all appreciate that. Now, obviously, in 2019, babies were now allowed in the chambers, but this story does go back a bit further than that, because I remember Christy Clark was really a pioneer when it came to that. Can you speak to that and sort of the culture that has been cultivated over the last 2 decades in the BC Leg?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was the third cabinet minister in BC to deliver a baby, to give birth while holding a cabinet minister position, and the 14th in all of Canada. This is based on research done by the BC Legislative Assembly Library, but the records aren't that clear. So there could be others that maybe we don't know about dating way back, and there are lots of parliamentarians who have delivered, who maybe did not sit in cabinet. But Christy Clark was the first cabinet minister. And I remember watching a video of her, and she had returned to the legislature with this tiny baby. I think she had only taken a few weeks off. After her was Michelle Mungal, who took, I believe she took about 6 weeks. But I also think about pioneers like Jenny Kwan. Jenny Kwan also had was pregnant and delivered while she was sitting member of the Legislative Assembly. There's Linda Reid, who was the BC Liberal Speaker for many years. She raised children in the legislature.
Wow.
Like, there are women who have done this, but it is not easy, that's for sure.
Yeah. And so then really quickly, do you think that these allowances to have babies in chambers and to build this accommodating environment, that must be helping women and more parents get into politics?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I have a new colleague who is expecting her second child, I believe, in spring of next year. And she has a little one who's even younger than Azalea right now.
Wow.
So it'll be her second child.
They'll be siblings.
Yeah, that's right. And Azalea doesn't live in the chambers, right? I mean, it's not like I bring her in there all of the time.
Sure.
But she has been there to witness the throne speech. It is handy to be able to bring her in with to the chambers with me in a pinch if there's a vote called and she's fussy or she needs to be nursed, right? She's not there all the time. She's in the building pretty much all the time with her dad. But in the chambers, that's it's an accommodation that allows us to continue serving the public, frankly. For a lot of women who become new mothers, nursing is not something that you can typically pass off to the dad.
Well, so. Bowinn, best of luck in the new legislative session. And again, thanks for paving the way and being such a great role model for so many people across the province.
Thanks so much, Mo.
Folks, the BC NDP MLA for North Vancouver-Lonsdale and BC Cabinet Minister Bowinn Ma. Thank you so much to Pacific Sands Beach Resort in Tofino for supporting local conversations about baby poop in the halls of power. Now, after some business, sticking with parenting, it's been a wild election year both here in BC and around the world. What impression is this leaving on our teenagers? Tamara Taggart will be here to talk about it up next.